are you? Come on in. Waiting for our guest of the hour to arrive and waiting just for a few more people to pop on. And while we're waiting, let me know where you're tuning from. If you have a business and what your business is about, I would love to know. Hello, come on in. We will get started in one moment. And I see our guest has arrived. So let's see, I'm going to go ahead and bring her. I'm excited for tonight's talk. She does amazing work and you'll learn more about it. Hello.
Hey guys.
How are you?
Hey, Avery.
Happy Thursday, almost Friday.
Happy Thursday.
So tonight's conversation I am excited about. This is the last Lady Mogul Talk of the month. I may continue it a little longer, maybe in the coming weeks, because people have been responding really well to these talks and just getting a wealth of information from people in different industries. And tonight we have none other than Precious Stevens of the Posh Academy. So we're going to talk about how she pivoted, because you're learning more about the event industry she's in, and just learn a little more about her background. And let's just get into the talk. So I will let you introduce yourself for people who do not know who you are.
Okay. Well, I'm Precious Stevens of the Posh Academy, and I pretty much just teach event professionals or creatives how to attract higher paying clients through premium draping. I started in the industry as an event planner, right? Like most of us do, and then I shortly found out that I didn't like it. So I switched gears like almost immediately, found the thing that I was absolutely in love with, which is draping. And I kind of created my, carved out my own little section for that as far as the industry.
So I was going to ask, how did you get into draping? And actually, I don't know if you recognize my previous Mogul Minute videos, but the draping idea kind of came from you. I'm going to give you props for that. I was like, let me think of how I can make a budget on the low. And so I was like, oh, I wonder what Precious would do. So that was, even though it was not on the same level, definitely not. That was the inspiration for
no,
me.
That's totally fine. We all start somewhere.
Yes. So how did you fall into it? Did you just happen to take a class? Did you see someone on YouTube? How did you fall into it?
No, so I don't know how I fell into it. I got into it just event planning. People wanted draping, and I don't know. I just fell in love with the colors, the textures, things like that. So doing further in my research, I was trying to be self-taught. I was, but it just was not. I was not able to, really pull off the look that I was trying to pull off. So, I hesitated for a while, like all of us do. I kept watching YouTube, like, I'm gonna figure this thing out. I'm gonna figure it out. And it just, my confidence wasn't there. So yeah, I did take a class. But not only taking a class, I took a class with the intention that I was going to teach other people that was going through the same emotions I was going through at the time. At the time, there were no really draping classes, like the knockoffs. I couldn't find any of that. So
right.
That was one of my biggest passions. I said, as frustrated as I was and not able to really get any kind of resources, get any kind of helps, any kind of tips or anything, I said I wanted to create something that would help those guys that was in the boat that I was in at the time.
Well, you took my next question about why did you decide to start the Posh Academy? What is the perfect segue to let people know how you help your students? I've seen all of the tutorials and also the testimonials of your students and how someone came from, I think, another state for your class. She said it was so worth it because of the hands-on instruction and tutorage that you gave. So tell us more about your program and how you help event professionals specifically.
Well, yeah, I got into it, like I said, wanting to help those guys, the newbies, the ones that just couldn't really pull off the same look. And then it just went further and further. I started teaching online. And you know, they wanted to fly to me, say, hey, I'll fly to you, you just teach me. And so I understood there was a greater need, that people really wanted to learn this thing without paying thousands and thousands of dollars. Although it's a lucrative, you know, it's a lucrative field and it's worth the investment. However, I understood that, you know, everybody couldn't afford that, the monetary investment. So it's pretty much how I created the Posh Academy, doing hands-on. One thing just led to another. I was doing online at first, then I did hands-on locally. Then I ended up traveling. Then I ended up creating a drape tour that got derailed thanks to COVID. But yeah, I'm just excited about that. Like, to actually be able to go on the road and travel to different, you know, 15 different states, teaching something I'm passionate about. And even though now, even now, people still fly here to me, to Atlanta. So I still teach. I still do private sessions one-on-one. And it's just amazing that people, you know, will fly all around just to come and take my class.
And that's a testament to how great your services are. I mean, the fact that people are willing to still come to you in the midst of a pandemic, that's major.
Yeah.
So I want to ask, because you have years of experience in the event world, what mistakes do you see early, whether it's drapers or just event professionals in general? What mistakes do you think they make that you see often?
Honestly, the biggest mistake is not investing in themselves. That's like the biggest. And I kind of always give them a scenario, right? Is either we all, to some degree, have the resources. If either we're going to have the time, like take the slow route, try to do it all on your own.
Right.
Or you make the proper investments and you get that shortcut, right? You go right to the thing that's holding you up from success,
right,
and you invest in it. So that's like one that, and I did it too. I'm not going to say, I just saying, told you, I tried to, you know, be self-taught until before I, you know, finally and invested in myself. But that's the thing, like just really having the assumption that you can find everything on YouTube. Some of us can, but you know, when I like action takers, I like people that's just, you know, driven, you know, and just really put action into their thoughts and say they don't only say they want something or, you know what, I'm trying to figure this out. No, just make the investment.
That is so true. I remember early on, I would be the freebie queen signing up for everybody's lead magnet.
Me too.
And that only left pieces of information, and that was not getting me anywhere. So I remember many stressful nights, and I've shared it on Instagram. I don't even know how I paid it. Like one year I paid $15,000 in coaching. I know I made some sacrifices because that was like, I remember just having dollars in my pocket after that investment, but it was so worth it because it accelerated the process. Probably would have taken me years to learn what I found out in like maybe three months. So it's so worth it to invest in yourself, even though I know the sacrifices might be great, but it'll be worth it in the end. So absolutely. I can definitely relate. I wanted to ask, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go on.
I was going to ask, so I know that entrepreneurship is not always easy. And I say that you might not always be motivated, but you have to be disciplined in order to continue along the journey. So what keeps you disciplined, or what keeps you going when it's challenging for you?
Honestly, the main thing that keeps me going is my tribe. It's going to be a combination of my tribe. And I've got these things like on my walls to remind me of my why. Like, why am I doing this? So I have these different things that keep me cognizant of why all this is going on. And then my tribe, like some days when it's frustrating, but then I'll get a message. You know, it's just, they may be saying something motivating. They may say something I've done to help them. It could be anything. And that's like, you want to know what? Okay, I'm living in my purpose, and I got to keep on going.
People are relying on us.
Yeah. So, you know, it's one of those things like, you want to know what? Go put the cape on because you got stuff to do.
Right. Exactly. So I didn't know this was actually the second time you pivoted in your industry. The first time you said you were in the not necessarily general event industry, but then you went to draping. So I know that the event industry has been heavily impacted by COVID. Are there any ways that you have pivoted during this time? And what advice would you have for people who feel that they need to pivot, but they don't know where to start?
Yeah. So like you said, I had a couple pivots, right? And It's funny because what helps me not being scared is really just relying on my faith, because fear is going to creep in, and fear is going to rob you of a lot of opportunities, right? It's going to talk you out some stuff. It's going to do all that if you really kind of let it consume you. So I have pivoted in the industry, but just different lanes and different segments. Like COVID, honestly, you can look at it two ways. It could kind of force you to, you know, pivot, but it also can really create opportunity. And that's normally what I look at. Anytime people think there's a crisis, something is needed in that situation. So I'm going to find out, what do the people need, right? And I'll just make all the necessary adjustments possible. But the key is just having that component, having something, having solutions, having stuff that people actually want. Because all situations, there's a solution that is really can, you know, appease the situation. So if they're scared and not necessarily knowing where to start, I would definitely say, you know, seek some kind of mentorship. Get with a community of like-minded.
Uh-oh, did you break up just a little bit? Okay.
So cliche, right? But it's really true. Like really getting connected with pillars, people that's vested in you, people that have the same goals or similar goals, right? It's key. It's definitely key to me. It helps me when I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I should be making this decision. Sometimes you need a sounding board, right? And to kind of piggyback off, or you know, network, collaborate. So I definitely would say get with someone that's possibly doing what you're on the fence about if you're not sure, right? Instead of just, you know, kind of going out there blindfolded. That way you can get some kind of feedback back.
That's true. And that's why well, one person who I should really call her my employee, my mom.
Oh yeah.
She's really big on like my poor mother, I'll just say that. I ask her about a lot of things like, Mama, what do you think about this or that? And then also having a group of ladies, like you said, who are like-minded, and they are looking out for your best interest, and you know that they are looking out for your best interest. Not that they're not going to steal your ideas. They're going to help strengthen your ideas and maybe say, maybe you shouldn't do it this way, but this would be beneficial for your community. So that is, having a tribe is so important. That's why we're here with the Lady Mogul community, but also there are so many other platforms. Like even today, I didn't know Dell had a community, the laptop. So I would,
I didn't know either.
I know, I received emails like, let me look at this. So just, even if it's not just in the Black community, there are resources outside of us, because, you know, they might know things that hasn't trickled down to our community, and we can pass it forward. So that is so important. I wanted to ask, what 3 things would you give an event professional? What 3 things of advice would you let them know if they're just starting out, or things that you would have given your younger self starting out?
Honestly, main thing is kind of think it through, right? Think things through. A lot of people get in this industry and, you know, they just fall in love with the beauty side of it. Hey, I just want to get in and throw some parties. And they have no idea of the amount of, you know, what happens on the back end. So I definitely would say think it through and niche down as much as possible, because the industry is so big and it's also saturated, right? And it's one thing to just come in and do events or do designs, but it's best to kind of come in from a perspective of creating your own flavor or something, right? Just to some degree being different, being unique, finding out what that is. And also finding out the weak spots, like what is happening, how you can make the industry better. That is like key. Definitely just having, that is kind of what's going to make you stand out. It's going to kind of make you unique, things like that. And then the other one would be definitely probably they just starting out. I would say research or do your due diligence, right? A lot of, like I said, people get in thinking they want to do event planning and they find out, no, that's not, I want to do designs, right? Or, hey, I want to do florals. And then they sit up here and wasted all this time and it's confusing. They don't really know what they want to do or what they want to be when they grow up. So it's just really, I would just say like really thinking it through, going in with a plan, although the plan is going to change. It could change a lot. But having a sense of direction of where you're going, like really, what do you want out of this thing, as opposed to I just want to design, right? That's just like so general.
Yeah, that's true. I remember I wasted so many years because I did not niche down. And then finally with Black Women Moguls, I found like that was my purpose. And I wondered before then why I could not maybe follow through with certain things, but
Yep.
because it just wasn't the right thing for me. And so with Black Women Moguls, it kind of goes back to the earlier question about when you're not motivated. I might not be motivated every single time or passionate, but we both said that we have people who are depending upon us. And every time I teach a class or every time I receive a comment, I'm like, oh, we are making a difference.
Yeah.
This is worth the long nights and everything. And so it makes it just worthwhile.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I couldn't really, I could see me doing other things, but I know this would always be one of my streams because I enjoy it so much.
Right,
Yeah.
definitely. So, what projects do you have coming up, or can you
Ooh,
tease
child.
on juicy things coming up?
Well, I just launched my merch line, Staying
Ooh.
Positive. And that kind of came out of the thin air due to COVID, right?
Pivoting.
So it just really opened up different streams. So I'm working on a book. I'm also working on a book, like a collaboration of different authors with another book. I am working on the Drape tour still, like just pushing that to 2021 though. Then I'm really now working with a lot of brand ambassadors. So I'm really expanding my brand with, different products and services that my community, my tribe needs. So really doing that. I just added my YouTube. So YouTube is amazing. So now like just adding YouTube and monetizing that was fun. That was a really cool project. Came out of COVID. But yeah, it's never ending. I got a candle line, just launched that. I'm waiting for product to come back. And ideas come and then I just birth them.
Yeah. So I mean, you have one business, but you've birthed so many different streams from that one business. So it's possible, no matter what industry you're in, if it's a little stagnant, just think of creative ways that you haven't thought about before to market your business. The possibilities are really endless.
It really is. It's ridiculous. And honestly, like I said, sitting down, thinking things through, looking at the big picture, like what do I really want this brand to be? And then just all kinds of ideas come out of that. And like this whole thing with people being home, I'm like, okay, well, people home, what do they need? People like to smell good. People, things, and it just come up with so many different opportunities. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It's true. So 2 final questions. What services do you offer? We know you offer the Posh Academy, but for those who are interested in your academy, what steps do they need to take to join?
Well, it's 2 different services. So one is the draping design. That's teaching all draping, whether it's hands-on, private, one-on-one, doing a tour, on the virtual membership class. And then not only do I teach the skill set, I also do business coaching for now, like how you're going to package this thing. You have to be able to market and price it, which is another thing that a lot of event professionals struggle with. They can do this beautiful work, but they don't know how to price it. Right? So just that. So it's 2 programs I have, which is the draping design, which is www.learnpremiumdraping.com. And then it is the business membership, which is www.planningtoprofit.com. And both of them are membership programs.
That's great. So planning to profit, I like that because we want to make that moolah. Yes.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
If you are not following her already, I think it's _Precious Stevens, correct? And then the Posh Academy. So make sure you follow her. And even if you're not in the event space, just look at the great testimonials and the amazing work that she and her students do. I'm like, wow. I try to like do a little something here, but it don't. No. Maybe I should just take the class. I don't know. So thank you so much for joining us. Are there any final words you would like to share with the Lady Mogul community?
No, I just want to appreciate you guys for having me on. Definitely look into future collaborations with you guys. We do have like a similar audience, especially on the business side. So definitely just looking to do that. And like I said, I thank you guys for having me on your platform.
So happy to have you, and you are welcome to come back anytime. You're one of my favorite people.
Okay, Avery, you mine's too sweet.
Thank you. Well, I will let you go. I will let everyone go. I hope you all have a great Thursday and a great weekend. So thank you everyone for tuning in.
Thanks, babe.
Bye.